What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Dadvestor. Updating y'all today on my 0 DTE strategies. Had a big scare yesterday on Friday with the melt up. I started with $2,000 and turned it into $10,000 in less than a year. Now I'm making $500 to $2,000 a month using battle tested strategies that even Warren Buffett uses to beat the market. Follow my journey and learn everything I'm doing for free. So, yesterday was Friday, year of our Lord, 2025, June 27th. And yeah, you can see this position was way too big. I went on the full S&P instead of the mini, which is not what I usually use the mini, and I went 20 deltas, $20 wide, which ends up to be over $1,000 max loss. So I started to freak out because it melted up. So this position is one of I actually made 4 of these butterflies, and spoilers, but it ends up being a good play, but not the best. I mean, because if I hadn't cashed out of this when it was profitable, I would have been in big trouble. But luckily, I've been watching it. I've been putting in orders. I'm getting much better at reading what is kind of, I guess, part of its expectations of taking small profits. So, these butterflies are insane, right? It's like hundreds of dollars max profit. I'm not actually going to aim for that. I'm aiming for $30, $40, $50. 10% is fine with me. Sometimes 5%. Like if it's a losing position. But that top position there that's green, this is a pre-recording, so I'm talking over it later. But that position ends up being profitable, and even though the market goes way up, it does end up coming way down. So had I held all of these positions and put in an order for 10 or even 25% and then done nothing else, they would have all been profitable. I just didn't know that, and you never know that. So that's why I'm happy with how I handled it, where I took profit early, and I got out of those 4 contracts right there. I got out of them one piece at a time. So I just knew that it was crazy, and it was like, oh my gosh, like the Iron Condor that I was talking about earlier, I was able to close. Oh, here it is. So see, it got really bad, right? At one point, it was over negative 300. So like, sure, I didn't get the max loss, but the price was really pushing that top edge. And if you know anything about yesterday, it went up to 618 plus, so 6185 or something, and made new record highs. So, but then it crashed all the way back down. So on the way back down, I would have been profitable here. You just don't know, So my lesson here is, okay, don't actually make positions where the max loss could kill you. Which is my advice for everyone else. So I'm gonna stick to the XSP because the SPX is just too big, and man, I was happy to be able to manage it well, but it was scary. And to be honest, I made that position without really looking at the technicals. So here I'm showing you on Robinhood. You can do some technical analysis using SPY. Unfortunately, we can't do it on SPX, although I do it a little bit on TradingView. But on Robinhood itself, you can just jump in here, and it has volume profile, it has Bollinger Bands, it has VWAP, it has RSI. So decent indicators to understand what's happening, and you never know what's going to happen. That's just kind of the whole point of the tasty trade style of trading, which I enjoy and which I ascribe to. So I think I was able to capture some of the orders I put in here. You see, I put that for $4, and I'm about to change that because no, I'm scared. I just want to close out of it. So instead of looking for a profit of $45, I'm looking for, all right, how can I get out of this? Spoilers, I got out of it for negative 155 or something like that, and then I ended up making more than $155. So the good news is, at the end of this, I end up in a profit for yesterday, for Friday. But it's because all those butterflies that I made, all 4 of them were profitable. So that was over $100. And then I made 1 or 2 other positions that were profitable as well. So essentially, I learned my lesson. I started using smaller positions. I started using XSP instead of SPX. And I think I actually shorted the market because it hit all-time highs. And then because I was looking at the technicals, I could tell it was really struggling to hit above or even maintain a certain point. So I shorted the market several days out because I didn't expect it to crash day of, but it did crash day of. It crashed all the way back down, and I was able to cash that covered call out. I don't think I have footage of that, though. But there we go. I closed out of that for $155, and I was really happy because that was freaking me out. So, yeah, super stressful. Don't recommend making positions that are just monsters. CISA, now the price went already from 61.70 something down to 61.71, and it was 75. And the good news is it goes up even higher, I think, during this video, and I'm able to cash out that top position. But that was a broken wing butterfly. I'm definitely a big fan of butterflies, especially on XSP, because you can make them for really cheap. So I actually made more of these, and all of them were cashed out for a profit. I believe because it's such a bad position at this moment, you can make them for $10. So I brought my cost basis down really low, which improved the profitability. And then when the market dropped all the way down to the center there, I think the market dropped to 612. Or if on the full one, a full S&P, it was 61.20 or 61.25 or something. But it dropped into that green zone, and I was able to cash out. So for that butterfly position I just showed you, this one, I ended up making 3 more, and all of them ended up being profitable, which is awesome. Thanks be to God, I was able to close these positions for a profit at 525. Because I sold them for an average price of $5.44, and so it's not a huge profit. So whatever that is, it's like 19 times 4, but whatever, $70-something, and we'll see that in the realized profits. But it cuts out some of the losses I had earlier on. Let's see. This one. Right, so I lost 155 because of, but that's really not as bad. It was a really bad position, and I was just experimenting. It was the wrong day to experiment with a melt up. So anyway, whew. So that's less than $100 lost now because of the successful closing of those 4 positions. That's my daughter talking. Hi, sweetie. You want to make a puzzle? Wow. So anyway, I'm just happy that I didn't get crushed. I lost a lot less than I could have. And the 0 days are really not as simple as a mechanical strategy. You kind of have to watch the technicals. And I think what I did, my mistake was putting a position on that was way too big on the max loss, and then it melted up, and it was really hitting that strike. So don't do that, and I won't do that anymore. I think I'm going to stick to butterflies because the max loss is less than $100, and then when you win more than that. So that's actually what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, is make a few butterflies. And this one, for example, kind of covers this zone, and I'm going to hopefully make another one right here and maybe one on top, and that way I'm going to cash out at the end of the day. All right, peace out. All right, I'm back again. I just wanted to rejoice. Whew. I've been day trading a lot today, right, the 27th, and a lot of it was bad. This starting out with like an Iron Condor that with a max loss of over $1,000 was stupid, but I made that mistake. I got out. I was able to get out, as you saw earlier in the video, and then I made it all back. So pretty happy about that. I'm getting better at the 0 days, and I also wanted to point out that dividends dropped, and this is the account on Friday before the dividends dropped, and I'm about to show you when it does drop. It's a big difference, and the way Robinhood does it brings the entire thing up, so you can see like the Now it's negative 176. And so, um, you know, it's kind of weird. It's not, I'd rather it just come in as like an upward spike, but it just brings the entire graph up, which is kind of annoying to me. But yeah, so we're still in profit and we're still above 27,000.